Hello? Can you hear me? Ooh. We might have some sound. It might be a horrible sound, but you might have some sound. I'm going to talk away as if you can hear me, because it looks like you can hear me. My mouse has stopped working. My camera stopped working. Some things might work. I don't know if it's working. Yay, sound. Right. Yay, we can hear. Welcome, everyone. It's only 10 minutes late, so that's not too bad for me. Let's see what else we've got that works. That doesn't work. That was working earlier as well. Bloody hell. The one time that something does bleeding work. Well, anyway. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the channel of Teething Problems. It's Friday night. It's Friday night. Oh, I've not even got a beer. Oh no, this is going to go horribly wrong. Not even got a drink. Wife, if you're still around, can I have a beer? Can I have a beer? Good evening. So, we're in the new house. I was hoping that I'd have the GoPro to be able to show you around. But it's not working. So, you're going to have to put up with my ugly mug. Sorry about that. Let's see, what else can we get working? Can we have an image slideshow? No, we can't have that. What are we even on right now? I don't know. I think we have to put this down at the bottom. Ah, there we go. God, you move one little house and then everything goes horribly wrong. Discord, we don't want Discord. Anyway, right, let's have a look at some of your chats, because you're probably all going, we can't hear you anymore, you idiot, you've pressed the wrong button. So let's pop out the chat and see what we're saying. See who's here. Let's do that. Right. Oh, I've even had a super chat. Brilliant. Silver Surfer's in. Hello, sir. You've probably all gone now, all these people that were in early, because you can hear anything or see anything. Chris is in. Good evening. Sharpie, you're here, or you were here. Mickey, Courtney. Courtney doing top job as chief mod. I think you got that job because Jennifer's out tonight. Welcome back to the shindig. Do behave yourselves. Simon will be lurking and applying for new jobs, as my one currently is doing my head in. I know that feeling. We had a load of people in my office this week got told they had to apply for their own jobs. Luckily, well, is it luckily? Luckily, I'm not one of them, so I don't have to worry about that. But yes, there's lots of that going on at the moment. I'm not enjoying my job at the moment, if I'm completely honest. But, you know, it pays the bills, and I've got even more bills to pay these days. Kaylee's in. My mouse has stopped working. Nothing works. Come on. Courtney's here. How's the bump doing, Courtney? Scott's in. Chris Silver. Don Ransom. Where do we get to? Only 10 minutes late. Noodle Sandwich, the newest of the moderators. Evening all. I'm about to go into the cinema to watch the new Bond film. Oh my goodness. So, first week is new mod. He turned up late. This week he's not even turned up at all. We'll let you off. I quite fancy watching that new Bond film. Looks pretty good. If the stream doesn't work, we can all go and watch Graham's latest video. I would encourage you all to do that anyway. It's the way of all things. You post a video about a minor disaster and it does really well. As Simon says, that was a cracking video, wasn't it? It was. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Courtney says she won't be able to last the full 2.5 hours either without needing a wee every 5 minutes or falling asleep. I suspect you're referencing your pregnancy there, but that's what it's like when you're old as well. I get like that. Noodle Sandwich with the £5 super chat. The new tank fund. Hopefully I don't need a new tank and it's just a reseal that we'll be doing. No sound. Right, okay, we're catching up. Sign language, that would have been a good idea. I used to know sign language. That's not right. You can't see that. It's that, isn't it? Graeme. I think that's how you say my name. Graham's sign language like mine, shorthand using only 2 fingers. I'm not a potty mouth like that at all. Yes, Scott, you were down in Fishman Aquatics last week, weren't you? How did you get on? Did you enjoy it? Did you get to meet the gang? We hear you, yay! New House Gremlins. It's not New House Gremlins, it's boxes everywhere. If only this GoPro would work, I could show you, because I'm surrounded by boxes. In fact, I can just move this, couldn't I? This is the joys of moving house. I'm just surrounded by boxes, TVs. We have way more TVs than I thought I had. Oh. And I'm not in an office anymore. I've been abandoned and relegated to the hallway. And now I've cocked up the camera. Yeah, so I'm relegated to the hallway now, and that's where my new office is. We have to build this into a room at some point. But, you know, we'll get there. God, it's stressful. They always say moving house is one of the most stressful things you can do. And I agree. It is. I'm just going to have to text my wife to see if she'll bring me a drink, because she's a lovely lady like that. No, we don't want to do that. But if you have watched the latest video, you will know I've had a few problems. First off, there's no power in the garage. Well, I'll tell you the story once I've finished reading the comments. Come on, Graham, concentrate. Right, let's get there. What was that? I saw a question with my name on it. Can I come and lodge, please? Who's that? Courtney says, yes, we'll rent the garage out. I need to make some money somehow. Very reasonable rates. But yes, I'm sure we'll get you guys over to visit soon. That was my wife saying yes, but I'm finishing my dinner first. Paul Horrocks, I have a fishy question. My goodness, straight in with a fishy question. I have looks like I have some Cory eggs in the discus tank. I need to do a water change, so debating whether to scrape off and put in a hatchery. Any thoughts? Yeah, that would be a great idea. Cory eggs are usually quite resilient. In the past I've done it because I've had Corys. They'll lay it in the glass and it's kind of scattergun shotgun approach where they just go and stick them all over the glass. You can either get a credit card or a razor blade or something like that and just scrape them up, move them into another tank, move them into a hatchery or any of those things, and they'll be absolutely fine. But they'll survive a water change if you just want to leave them. But if you do leave them and they're in a discus tank, they will get eaten. So yes, that's a good idea. Get them out into a hatchery. I've now got up to the point where I shouted, "Can I have a beer?" If I shouted at my wife like that, she would tell me where to go. She pretty much did tell me where to go. She said, "Wait until I've finished." Scott says, "Lovely, we had a heck of a time serving customer, especially the guy who went to jail and all he wanted was his Oscar to win, no matter what he puts in the tank." Oh God, we're going to need to hear more of that story. And the guy who wanted a pink fish. Surprised to see you back. Where does that say? Surprised you have time at the moment. I don't have time at the moment. Like I say, I'm surrounded by things. My wife's only just finished bashing together shelves, and I think we've bought all of IKEA and various other furniture outlets that are available. So all we've done has been build things, fix things. Right, we'll get on to my moaning about celebrating my house. Scoop 1988, where's my shout out? There it is. Bump is good, get to see your little face at a scan tomorrow. Oh, love the wee scanned pictures. That's your hallway. It's the same size as my whole house. One thing this house isn't lacking is space. It's definitely a big house. And depending how tight you are, that's either a great thing or a terrible thing. Sorry, my mouse is just not playing ball today. I wish my wife was that well trained. Don't say things like that. She might be reading this and then she won't bring me one. What about the leakage? I just read a comment from John Thompson there that said, what about the leakage? And I was like, oh, I thought you meant something else. Right, so we're in the new house. If you haven't seen the new video, I posted a little bit of an overview, but basically I've upgraded. We're in a nice big house, nice big garden, nice big money pit possibly, but it's got, if you haven't seen the old videos, it was owned by someone who was right into their golf. So the garden is a pitch and putt course. It's all astroturf and all fake stuff, that kind of stuff. And there's a bunker and a green and a tee, and then there's a top putting green round the back. That's a different one. And yeah, it's great. It's very grand. It's very vast. So you saw me hitting a couple of golf shots when I was doing the last video, and all that's fine. We can't afford to redo the garden, so it's going to stay like that for a while. I do have pond plans, so next year, I'm already planning it now, but next year is going to be pond year, if there's any money left, that is, of course. But if you can imagine, in fact, can I show a picture of what I'm talking about? If my mouse would... Come on, mouse, you can do it. Put your back into it. Right, let's show you a picture and I'll show you my pond plans. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try.
I have less than 30 seconds. I have less than half a minute to complete this little minute.
You can do it. There we go. So if I show you this screen, mouse needs new batteries. Right. No. We'll watch some more adverts. Come on. Skip ads. Right, now I need to get ready to pause it, don't I? So there's the new house. That's the... pause. No. I can't get the mouse to do it. This is going well. Look at that form, though. Right, come on. Let's go back a bit. So, that's where I was standing. So that's the front of the house up here. If you can see any of that, that's where I was. So we've got this little pitch and putt hole here with this bunker and everything. So I think Chris asked, is that going to be turned into a pond? I'm considering putting the pond on this side. So there's another putting green here. And I'm just chopping and changing constantly, but I'm considering whether just to kind of follow the outline of this green here and make it like a wildlife pond. So I'm still not settled on whether to go full on koi pond or something different, or maybe both. But this kind of area, this is up for grabs. It's a gravel slope at the moment, so there's loads of spec to do something. There's some trees down at the bottom here you can't really see. So there's a lot more space, so I could build a filter house and all that kind of thing. And that's quite big. For reference, that's me. If you can see that little dot there, this is a double carport. So it's quite a big area. I proffered the idea to Mrs. Aquarium Adventures that I might just turn this whole thing into a pond. And I got quickly told where to go, and that wasn't happening. But maybe just this bit here, it would still be a massive pond, whether it was a koi pond or not. So first and foremost, I need to decide whether or not I want what type of pond I want, because I need to incorporate some kind of garden feature, make it a nice patio and a place to sit, and I don't know, maybe have a barbecue area and entertain friends and all that kind of stuff, rather than it just being a box in the middle of the garden that has fish in it. So I need to plan it out somehow, but I'm thinking this is the right area because it's kind of out of the way. There's loads of space that I can use down here for soakaways or for filter houses, all that kind of stuff. There's already power going out to various points in the garden round here, so it's kind of ideally set up. You can't tell from this angle, but this is a big drop off, a big slope from this top green down to the bottom. So that's possibly what I'm thinking of. I realise I've now got rid of the chat and I've probably cut everyone off. We might still be there. So that's what I was thinking of. Oh. Ta-da! Do you want to say hello? No. Thank you very much, dear. Right, I was just describing to everyone what my pond plans were and how you'd already vetoed plan number 1 of turning the whole garden into a pond. Yeah. So half that size. Maybe. We got a maybe on record. Oh, that's better. I don't suppose you've got any batteries, have you? Oh no, I've probably got some. Right, so yeah, there you go. Chris Silver, you're going to turn that bunker into a pond. No, I'm not going to turn the bunker into a pond. We can't really afford to get rid of the garden and the golf astroturfy bit stuff, so we're going to have to live with that at least for the rest of this year and probably next year, because it's quite big, so whatever we do is going to cost a bleeding fortune. So we'll see. Very jealous of the golf garden. Everyone that's been around so far, so we've had to have plumbers, electricians, all kinds of people around, and they all kind of go, "You've got a golf course in your garden. Can I have a go?" Right, let's see if we can get down to the bottom. Hashtag millionaire if only. If I was a millionaire, I wouldn't be worrying quite so much about how much this is going to cost. Mipple-Strot Aquatics is in. Hello, Graham. Happy Friday yourself. The pond's going to be a water hazard for the pitch and putt green. There you go. Sold. That's a great idea. Oh, God. Bloody mouth. Right, sorry. Is your wife Scottish too? No, wife's English. I'm a disgrace to my people. I married an English lady. I'm from Glasgow, she's from Northampton. And I tell all the kids that we took them up to Scotland to be born so they would be Scottish. Pete the Greek, is it possible for you to turn the volume? It is. Is it possible for you to turn the volume? That's not really how... I can't turn your volume up. I can turn my volume up, I guess. Is that any better? Or I'm sure your phone or computer also has a volume dial. No, don't know. That's not working either. Ah, dear. I'm not sure how much longer I can put up with this. I can't scroll through the comments and nothing else is working. So we'll do some plugs while I try and figure out. Maybe I've got some batteries over here. Can you get me some batteries? This sort. Triple E's. Yeah. Just trying to get you into shop wearing my merch. My wife has adopted Aquarium Adventures merch as her work clothes. Triple A's. Thank you. Go and show off the merch. This is an advert plug. You can get yourself a hoodie like this. Very reasonable prices. aquariumadventures.co.uk. Top quality, wouldn't you say?
Very cozy.
Very cozy. There you go. So I've deafened everyone now. Sorry. I won't touch the volume anymore. I'll be much more prepared for the next live stream. I say that every week and it's not true. But one day I'll get it all right. Right, let's see. Still not working, so it wasn't batteries. A little better. Hello, Mrs. Graham. She's gone now. Sorry. I'll just have to. I'm trying not to speak louder because I've got number 2 son's bedroom's just there, and he's just gone to bed. Oh, sorry. I thought I'd closed you all down. So I was in the middle of plugging, wasn't I? So click the subscribe button if you haven't already. You can have reminders sent direct to your devices for the farcical live streams like this. So whenever I go live, you get to find out about it. If you don't want to do that, go and watch a video. That's fine. If you want to do anything more than that, you could join the channel and then you get access to all kinds of emojis and tell me what an idiot I am and turn the volume up with some cock pictures and things like that. If none of that floats your boat, thanks for being here anyway. There is a website. You can go and buy some merch, which I'm not wearing, but my wife is. Very reasonable prices, very great quality, all that kind of good stuff. And there's a Discord server as well, which is up here. There will be links in chat, no doubt, coming to tell you how to join there. And then you can actually speak to people who know what they're talking about. We can have a bit of a laugh or ask some questions about fish stuff. So, fish stuff. I had kind of briefly touched on it in the last video. I've gone from my old fish room, which was a reduced single garage. So we took a bit out of the garage to extend our kitchen in the old house. So that was 2/3 of the garage that was left. And then I got a third of that for my fish room. So now I've got a whole double garage, which I'm going to split in two. And I'm going to take half for my fish room and leave the other half for bikes, tools, all that kind of stuff. Loving the garden was the golf shot done in one take? Of course it was. No. I had several goes at that. Well, it was one take 3 times, if that makes sense. I had to do different angles. But yeah, I've had a hole in one and everything. It's great. So the new fish room, sorry, stay on track, Graham, come on, you can do this. The new fish room is going to be half a garage, basically, so it's 3 or 4 times bigger than the old fish room. It's going to be all big dug racking, and possibly some kind of indoor pond / mega tank, if I can get around to it, but that'll be into next year, so subscribe if you're interested in that kind of thing. Discord link is up there, Scroob. Discord.gg / some letters. Someone will no doubt put it in the chat. But yeah, going to get loads of racking, going to have some breeding projects going, going to have some interesting fish that I'm just going to keep, and if they breed great. I'll have some guppies and live bearers because I really like them. I'll have some I've been really enjoying thinking about what I'm going to keep. I'm probably not going to rush into anything. because I'm also thinking about building it out into a proper room, whereas for the first few months and over winter I'll probably just leave it as is, because we need to get the garage door replaced and all that kind of stuff. So I won't be rushing out and buying hundreds and hundreds of different types of species of fish or anything like that, but I will be adding some new fish pretty quickly. I really want to keep a big tank full of Oscars. I've been watching and getting into more and more some of the big South American cichlids. I want to try African cichlids because I've never kept African cichlids. Chichlids, sorry. So there's loads of things that I want to try. I just need to think about what I want to have where, if that makes sense. So it'll be slowly catchy monkey. And so far, everything that I've tried has broken. So no doubt I'll have to try something, fix it, and then move on again. Sorry, the dog has come up to lie on my feet, as it does. But on Monday is when the electrician comes to sort out the garage, because the garage only has 2 power sockets for the entire garage, and one of them's attached to the door to open and close it. So getting a load of sockets fitted on Monday, I can then bring my fish back from their lodgings, because the fish are currently lodging over in Rotherham. Can bring them all back, have everything under one roof at last, because it's killing me having to go over there every day. It's not killing me, it's like half an hour each way. It's not the end of the world, but still, it's an hour back a day that I'd get to myself. And then I can start to arrange things properly and move things around and just get it right. So there's going to be lots going on for the next few weeks and months. So if you are interested in fishy stuff rather than just random ramblings like I'm doing now, then click the subscribe button. It'd be lovely to see you in the comments. And as Fishman Aquatic says, I'll need space for all the stock too. Yes. Important announcement time. Fishman Aquatics will soon be stocking my foods and some other things possibly. So if you're in the Manchester Oldham area and you want to go to the best fish shop in the lands, pop over and you might even see a little shelf of my stuff and you can buy it in person rather than having to wait for me to deliver it. And if you have ordered anything recently, I'm terribly sorry that it's taken me so long to do all the posts, because I think the last 2 weeks worth of orders I've only just posted out today and yesterday. So I was a bit behind. No excuse, moving house and all that, but I think I'm finally back on track. But we'll be doing a large order this weekend to send out to Fishman Aquatics. So the best fish shop in Oldham, go over there and you can see all their stock and everything else, but maybe a wee shelf with my stuff on it as well. So that's you kind of caught up on the fishy side of things of the house move. Just really the tank smashing to go. I'm just going to make some notes because I can see some questions that I'm ignoring. I don't mean to ignore them. So I'll work backwards because the mouse isn't playing. Aquafinity says, I have a question. I recently hit 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations. But I still don't have the community tab. Do you know why? I'm pretty sure the community tab isn't based on a number of subscribers, or certainly it wasn't. It used to be you had to have 10,000 subscribers to get the community tab. But I know they did let some other smaller channels get it as well. So there was... I can't remember if I'm completely honest, but it's something to do with whatever niche it is has a different number, but it seems to be just random as to when you get it, because there's some bigger channels that have like 50,000 subscribers that still don't have the community channel. So no, I don't know why, but congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. That's quite the milestone. Little shelf, it's going to be show quality. I was trying to downplay it a little bit. Oh no, we can't replace Courtney's sofa with the Aquarium Adventures line. Oh no. See, this is what happens, Reese, here. They make all the decisions when you're not here, and then, I don't know, did they just convince you that you made the decision earlier? Pete the Greek has joined the Adventurers. Welcome to the Adventurers. Thank you very much. Diddly-doo. You know, in the long run, that double garage will be the whole fish room. I can't say that too loudly, but yeah, that's the plan. Sharpies is talking in Latin. Right, sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the chat, but my mouse just isn't playing, so I'm just going to continue waffling. Please ask me questions. I think we'll be closing the show early tonight due to technical difficulties. But the tank. So, I think I've figured out what's going on with the tank. Again, latest video, it was me trying to set up my big discus tank and start moving fish back. Spoiler alert, the tank cracked. Well, it didn't crack, it sprung a leak somewhere. What happened was I, using my big brain, decided to wait until really late at night to try and start filling it up again. So I got it all set up, got all the it took me about a week actually, because I had to find all the bits and bobs for it. So it's a lovely big tank, sump, custom pipe work and all that jazz. Got it all ready, got it all running. Scaped it, if you liked, almost scaped it, and started filling it with water. And it got all the way to the top, just where the water started to go over the overflows into the sump. And I thought, great, that's brilliant, it's full of water, no problems. Went and turned off the water and came back, and there was the tiniest of tiny little leaks. And I thought, right, don't panic, it's probably nothing. I thought it's probably from the overflows where I've just not made the seal, or it might need a new gasket, or what do you call them, O-rings, seal things. That's fine, I'll just drop the water level an inch so as it's not up there and everything will be fine. So I took out maybe half an inch of water. I thought, well done Graham, very clever, pat myself on the back. Went and put the hose away and came back, and it was gushing all over the floor. Not gushing, but like I don't know, a tap given half a turn, that kind of level of would they fill the bucket in a couple of minutes type of thing. Couldn't really tell what was going on. I didn't know if it had maybe been leaking on the overflow and then getting stuck in between the bottom of the tank and the stand, or I just saw it, emptied it as fast as I could. I have since found out by the I'm sure this isn't the industry standard practice of how to do it, but I cleared an inch all the way around the outside of the aquarium and made a little dam with the sand, and then poured water in and could see where the bubbles were coming from and where the leaks were, and found the leak, and it was just on one side. And I kind of think I know where that's come from, because when the removal people came to move the tank, I didn't know they'd done this, but they stood it on its end. So I bet you they've stood it on its end, and it's been at a little bit of an angle, putting pressure on. You probably can't see this. So if that's the rectangle here, it was stood on the rectangle, and I think it might have been leaning a little bit, putting pressure on this seal down here, and it seems like it's just started to come away from there. Probably fine to let me fill it, and then that was just, once it got to the very top, that was the pressure, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, broke that seal and started letting the water out. So I've got my new silicone, because it's black silicone on that tank and I don't have any black silicone, so I had to order some black silicone. That turned up today, so I can get the old silicone cut out. I'm kind of in half a mind whether or not just to reseal the whole tank, because if I'm going to reseal a bit of it, might as well reseal the rest of it, but I'm also extremely lazy. 6 of one, half a dozen the other. I'm not sure what to do. So I'm going to cut out at least the bit that I know it's definitely leaking from. Maybe do some leak test, and we'll see how we go from there. But that's the plan anyway. I really need to get my fish back from the fish boarding place, so as I can just stop having to travel every day. What's going on? So that was my news about the tank, and hopefully it will be fixed this weekend. Mickey's got some news that will give you all a laugh. I was due to go to Spain for holidays tomorrow, but isn't my passport out of date? Ah, no way! Ugh. God, I bet you've not been away for ages too, what with all this lockdown stuff. We went on a stag do a few years ago where somebody did that. I was gutted. And obviously all we did was send them pictures of how great a time we were having because he couldn't come. Oh no, that's terrible. This is really annoying me, the fact I can't scroll through the track. Don't even... Have I got another mouse? I do have about 6 mousies. Mice? But I can't find them. Half garage fish house, half other house, filter for the pond. I don't even think I need to do that. I think I've got plenty of room to build a little filter house. Yeah, that is devastating, Mickey. Mega cock, as he says. Slightly peeved, but I'm all good with it now. Oh God, you must be gutted. Or you must have been gutted. Is there anything we can do? Can we have F's in the chat for for Mickey and his poor holiday? Oh right, we've got some Fishman Aquatics news here. So downstairs in Fishman Aquatics. So I guess this is like the first kind of... I've had my foods and things in shops before, or they've taken small samples. And I've had some online places or people like breeders and things like that who've taken stuff and sold it when they've sold fish. So I've done little ones, but this is the first time it's in a proper retail shop. So interested to see how it goes. Hopefully it's going to go well. But Fishman Aquatics has some big plans. So if you haven't already, go and check out the Fishman Aquatics YouTube channel, Facebook page, all those things. It just costs you a click. It doesn't cost any money. But you can keep up to date on the goings on because they're going through a bit of a refurbishment, refit, change of direction maybe, would that be fair to say? So the shop, if you've not been before, you would think it was just downstairs, but they actually have the upstairs and the basement as well. So the basement, when I visited last, was like the YouTube studio. Then you have the retail shop, and then I think it was polystyrene box storage on the top floor. But according to this comment, the downstairs will be a sleek, sexy gallery style with hardscapes, Aqua One tanks and beautiful plant systems, etc. Excellent. So go and follow their channel, and then you'll see all the updates yourself, and hopefully I will be over there in the not too distant future, and I'll cover some of it on my channel as well, so that would be good. So my food is replacing the fish science. Wow. So only A foods and Absolute Aquatics. So all the A's. Fishman Aquatics is exclusively dealing in companies that begin with A. Problems with fish science foods? I mean, I don't think... Well, I best read and see if he's responded themselves. I quite like some of the fish science foods. I really like their worm pellets, for instance. But yeah, it's just... It is what it is. I know tanks are different to plumbing, but if I'm resealing baths, showers, etc., I remove all the silicone and do new. In your scenario, you may be causing more problems by redoing it. Yeah, so it's kind of standard practice to remove as much silicone as you can because, and I don't know if I entirely agree with this. Everyone always says, oh, silicone doesn't stick to silicone. Silicone very much does stick to silicone, but it's best to try and get out as much silicone as you can. So I have another tank that I actually, when I moved it out of the old fish room to come here, I lifted it up and pretty much the bottom pane of the glass stayed stuck to the bottom, and I just had the 4 walls, so I need to reseal that as well. And I've resealed many a tank over the years, so it's not something I'm new with. Patching a tank, I've been fine to just blob on more silicone, especially if it's a fish room tank and looks aren't that important. But I usually try and get as much of the silicone out as possible, because then you've got a better chance of, while silicone does stick to silicone, it sticks better to the glass. So if you can expose more of the glass, then you can have a better seal. So yeah, I would agree with you that it's probably best to get as much of it out as possible. So my plan with the whole patching this one is to cut the entirety of the side that's got the leak on it and reseal that as much as possible, because it's really hard. You can't, because the silicone does sit between the joins as well, so there's always going to be a bit you can't get out unless you completely take it apart and start bursting the panels apart. So there's always going to be an element of the silicone left, but it's creating a big enough bead to reseal over the top of that with a big enough area to grab with the silicone. Well, that's my plan anyway. I always like to give the caveat that I'm not an expert in these things. It's just things that I've either done or tried before, and when they fail I don't do them again, and when they work I keep going until they stop working. Did you help with the creating of the food, or is it just your packaging kind of thing? So the Aquarium Adventures food line, so everything you see on my website is from a few different suppliers, and it's all foods that I have used myself in the past, where I've gone, and it's not exclusively every food I use is in my range, it's just the ones where the suppliers have said, yeah, we're happy to supply you with that. So I've got some from German suppliers, some from UK suppliers, where I've reached out to them, say, look, I've been using your food for years, can I buy it wholesale in bulk so that I can sell it myself on my own website? And they've said, yeah, that's fine. So it's not, I'm not sat in the kitchen creating this food, although maybe one day, watch this space. I did think about that for the beef heart, because I thought of better and healthier ways to make beef heart from a discus, but I very rarely use beef heart from a discus these days. I've also thought of, well, I had an idea because somebody offered me one of the machines, but breeding the, I can't remember what they're called now, the black soldier fly larvae, and harvesting them to make fish food. But it turns out you need a load of power and a load of space, which I now have the space, so probably could get away with it now, and a load of tolerance for stench, because it's quite a stinky business. So no, these aren't things that I'm producing myself, it's more of a resale thing. But one of only two suppliers. For instance, the my favourite food for the discus that I use, it's kind of a staple diet from a discus now, the softer Temia pellets. I think there's just me and one other supplier in the UK that import them from Germany, and I'm much cheaper than them. So you'll now be able to buy that from Fishman Aquatics as well, also much cheaper than the other place. Rebranding, yes, I think that's the thing. Sharpies is now Arpies Aquatics to get your fish stocked, yeah. Oh, I went over to the unit tonight to see my fish, and wouldn't you believe it, I've got another bazillion bristlenose fry babies. It took me months to get rid of my last tank full of bristlenose fry, and now I've just gone over there and there's another shed load. I love the fish, but they do cause me problems now and again. Right, so where did we get to? So we talked about the tank, me fixing the tank. I think that's going to be another half decent video, because everyone always gets really upset about the way that I've resealed tanks in the past, and any tank that I've resealed has never come a problem with me, and it's still been, it's got to be 10 years on some of those tanks that I've resealed that are still going strong. So I like to create a little bit of controversy and show you my way of resealing tanks, and then everyone gets to go in the comments and go, that's wrong. and then at least you get more views that way, I suppose. But yeah, it's worked for me. I've been very happy with the results of it. It might not be the neatest or the greatest thing. I've even resealed tanks that I've physically cracked. You may have seen one of the tanks in my fish room where I was trying to jam a rock in and there just wasn't quite enough space and the whole front panel just split in two. I pushed it back together, put a bead of silicone either side of it. Everybody in the comments was like, that'll never work, that's just going to explode, oh, you've got days, if not weeks at most. It's got to be a couple of years that's been running like that, and it's been absolutely fine. I think either people don't have a lot of faith in silicone, or it's got a lot better since people used to use silicone, or I don't know why they've got such a problem with it. It's something I've never thought was going to be an issue, and it never has been. So the only tanks that have ever leaked or split on me has been after moving them somewhere, or direct from manufacturer. So they've come with a small leak or something like that and we've sorted it out straight away. Anything that I have sorted out never leaked again. Touch wood. Oh, Sharpie's also got about 400 plicklets. Is that what we're calling them? Plicklets? I don't see why not. Carrie's in. Hi guys, been a while, still been watching. New house looks great, Graham. Can't wait to see the building of the new fish room. Sucks about your big tank. Hopefully it's an easy fix. I hope so too. I had to do a reseal once, didn't quite go to plan, but I had to buy a bigger one to cover up the damage. Well, maybe that's just done on purpose. You screw up the reseal and then you just have to buy a new tank. And if you're going to buy a new tank, you might as well buy a bigger tank. Quite right. Right, let me see if... For those of you just joining me, we're having lots of technical issues tonight. Nope, that's not going to work either. Neither's that. Neither's that. This is great, this is. Courtney's home. So, the other house woes. Am I allowed to say these things yet? Well, I guess we moved in now, he's not going to kick us out. The guy that was selling this house was a proper beep. He seems to have... So there's no doors. I don't remember this being the same when we came to view the house. But he took the door handles off the bathrooms. He's just plain old taking the doors off some of the rooms. Every other door doesn't close properly, so there's like an inch I've had to plane off every door. All the aerial sockets, so the aerial, when it comes into the loft space, you just snip them all. And then where they would normally come out into a socket, he snipped it behind the wall and plastered over it. So it's like he's maliciously went out and screwed up as much as he can of things that I can't actually get back at him for afterwards. So there's loads of work to be done. Just shed loads of work. Never mind the whole burnt roof thing. Just getting the place presentable is taking a hell of a lot of time. So that's why it's been a bit hit and miss past couple of weeks with videos and things like that, because I'm trying to get everything else sorted, presentable. Lots of electrical work to be done, lots of boilers and heating work to be done. And we've basically had a boiler engineer or a central heating engineer out 3 or 4 times trying to sort the boiler, which is actually alright. It's just had lots of little teething problems. Obviously got to get an electrician to sort the fish room, but the rest of the house needs a rewire basically, so that needs to start as well. What else have we had? The gas man was out. I thought this was brilliant. So where the gas feed comes in from the main supply, the shut-off valve had seized, so our plumber or our gas fitter was a bit like, well, I'm not allowed to touch that because it's the main line, so you have to phone the emergency services and they'll come out and they'll sort it out that day. So we phoned them up and they said, yeah, we'll be there in a couple of days, so not that much of an emergency. But he turned up, sprayed some WD-40 on, hit it with a hammer. I was like, I could have done that. He was like, no, you couldn't have done that, you're not allowed to do that, that's my job. So lots of little teething things like that. Every single slab in the garden that you can see from... we've still got that one up. Come on, you can do it. Come on, mouse. Every single slab here is loose. There's walls here that are just starting to crumble and fall down. The kids have been running around the house doing circles and knocking things over. The roof obviously needs replacing. All these slabs loose. There's all these beds and garden beds everywhere that don't have anything but mud in them. There's loads of tree stumps. These are Leylandi trees here that are like 1,000,000 miles high. I tried to cut them with a hedge trimmer the other day and I could only reach up about a third of the way up, even on my ladder. So there's lots of little jobs that turn into one big massive job. But you know, it's fun. Oh god, this is painful trying to keep this down. I'm sorry people, I'm having lots of... I only got the internet sorted today. It turned out, so they were meant to come last week and they cancelled the day before they were coming to sort out my internet. Then they came on Wednesday this week and they did that thing, you know, when people come and they say, right, that's you all sorted, just give it half an hour and then everything will start working all on its own. And you're like, will it? Or are you just trying to leave before it clearly won't work? And it was the latter. Yeah, and buggered off. Wouldn't work. I was on the phone to PlusNet for ages. Oh no, your account's broken. Oh no, this has happened. Oh, we'll need to do this, that and the other. And they were swearing blind to me. No, it's working. We can see it working. It's syncing with your router. And I'm there holding the wire in my hand going, it can't be. I'm holding the wire in my hand. It's not in my router. So eventually, a new engineer came today. And it turns out that the old engineer had cut the internet feed to 3 of my neighbours, believing them to be dead links, and then plumbed my feed into one of my neighbours. So those 3 neighbours had all logged calls with their service providers, and they all had engineers coming out next week. So my engineer sorted all of them out today, plugged my wire into the right hole, and we're up and running. So the internet's actually working really well. It's just everything else that's failing miserably. It's my mouse, it's my microphone. Oh god. So it's all these things that are going wrong. Everything else was going great. Were you aware of all these? No, I was aware of some of them. So we knew that the roof had some issues, and we got some money off because we negotiated that. We didn't notice that every slab was loose, but we should have done, so that's mea culpa, I think. But the door handles and all that kind of stuff, that's just not worth anything. So it was just... the person who lived here actually died, I think 4 years ago, something like that. So it's been that person's nephew. So it went through probate and everything. So it's been lying empty for quite a while. So a lot of the problems are probably to do with that. And I think what's happened is the nephew's got it after probate, basically paid a team of plasterers and decorators and said, right, go in there, plaster everything you can think of and you can see, and paint everything that you can see. Because all the wood, if it's the slightest scratch or chip or anything, you can see it's really dark wood underneath. It's just been painted white. But if you're just doing a quick viewing, the walls are all flat. The walls are all white. The Velux windows are all new. Everything looks fine until you spend some time in here and go, right, okay, so that used to be an aerial socket, but it's just been plastered over. Or, oh, right, that plug socket's not connected to anything. All those things. So... yeah, loads of light bulbs missing. I mean, one of the things they've done is in the kitchen and the living room and the hall downstairs, it's those downlighters, but where you would normally have like 3 or 4, there's like I think we counted 40. It's like, I don't know if he won this prize that was like, here's 10 boxes of downlighters. Yeah, we'll put them all in. And the estate agent said, yeah, he thought that was a feature. And it's stupid. It looks ridiculous. But it's the size of the place is what sold us on it. So that's why we're here. I can get my big, massive fish room and a pond and not encroach on the rest of the house or the rest of the garden. And we've now got a garden, because we didn't really used to have a garden. We only had like a little backyard, if that, where the dogs can run wild around here, and we don't even need to take them for a walk, and they can be knackered just running around the garden. So it's the space, the outdoor space. We're right next to the Hillsborough and Wadsley Common, I think it is. So it's like a big park type woods area. So I literally walk out the door, turn left, and we're out into the countryside. So it'll be great. It's just going to be quite expensive. Pardon me. Sounds like the guy loved the house but couldn't afford to live there, hence the bitterness. No, he was just an arsehole. He was just unrealistic in his expectations. So, like I say, the guy wasn't the guy that lived here. That guy died 4 or 5 years ago. He was the nephew trying to sell it. But he was just like, come on, hurry up, come on. I'm like, I'm spending all this money, I'm not going to... So, like, in the eaves, there's like access hatches into the loft and the eaves and stuff. They all had locks on them. And we were like, can we have a look in there? No, I've not got a key. Well, can you get a key? No. Alright, well, we'll pay for a locksmith then. No, I don't want tradespeople in here. And you're like, well, I'm not going to buy a house for all this money without looking in the cupboards. So, open them up, and he didn't. He just kicked them in. So, rather than letting me pay for a locksmith to come and open the door properly, he just bashed them all in. So now I've got big gaping holes in these access panels. And he was like constantly saying, threatening to pull out, threatening to this. And he knew they were empty threats. And he tried to hide loads of things that we caught him on. And luckily we called him on them and negotiated some money off to cover them. So I'm happy with the deal. He was just a bit of an arse to deal with. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about Graham having buyer's remorse, is it they call it? No, I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm sure it'll be great for the years to come. It's just a bit overwhelming, if you like, when you think about all the little jobs that need to be done. But we're getting through them. Got a dishwasher today. That's going to solve so many arguments. Pardon me. So Sharpie said, when I moved, they had taken the aerial out of the loft and wanted to take the carpets and even took the light bulbs. Yeah, so people are like that. I think you just have to buyer beware and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, good introduction to the neighbourhood. Yeah, I did say to my engineer, right, if anybody sees you, don't say you're coming here. I don't want to be responsible. How to make friends and influence people. The front, there's like 2 driveways, and they both have automatic gates on, and we can't figure out what buttons do what. So we've got these key fobs that aren't marked with anything, so we're just there, and every time they open they go and then they close they go clang. So like all night long we're sitting here pressing buttons trying to figure out what's going on. They're just going clang, clang, clang. It must have been driving them mental. Plusnet are awful, Plusnet are awful. To be fair, Plusnet, they've not been that bad. Most of them were awful. The techies, when I finally got through to speak to the techies, they were fine. But at one point, they were cancelling my contracts. They were saying they couldn't deliver a service. And I was like, really? You're just not going to fix this? You're going to make me wait another 10 days and go somewhere else? But once I got through to a techie who was a bit like, right, so you do know what you're talking about, fine. We sorted it out pretty quickly, but yeah. It is what it is. But when the BT man came, the OpenReach man came today, he was like, see, they've just put in fibre to the premises here. So when we get that switched on, we'll be getting gigabit internet. No one could have thought. That's like more than my entire company had that I used to work for all their clients. I'll have that for myself. That'd be amazing. Imagine this in 4K or 8K. The real question though, is it haunted? Well, I'm pretty sure that some of these massive patio areas and gravel topped expanses are covering up bodies. It's got to be. The guy was a bit of a character, shall we say. So there's even been a book written about the guy who used to live here. He founded the taxi firm in Sheffield. He was the director of one of the golf clubs here in Sheffield. He got done for embezzling. He got done for all kinds of things. There's some stories that I probably can't repeat just in case they're libelous or something like that, but there are some stories which weren't proven, and there are books written about this, about really dodgy things that he's done. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were bodies buried somewhere on the premises, or bags of cash maybe. That'd be nice. Bags of cash. Is it haunted? I don't think so. Well, I certainly haven't seen anything. Maybe you can come round and do a... I was going to say a seance, but that's not the word I was thinking of. A ghost hunt. Alright, Mickey and Sharpies have gone off on a extraterrestrial. There are no ghosts here. It's fine. A silly goose, yes. Oh, we've got a super chat from Chris Gales, £10 into the door handle fund. Thank you very much, Chris. It's much appreciated. Yeah, we'll definitely have to be ramping up on the video productions in the YouTube channel so as I can pay for this bleeding place. I think in mortar alone it's going to cost me a small fortune. The English property system seems much more complicated than up here. Yes, I remember when I bought my house in Glasgow, there was none of this business. None of this best and final offers and auctions and all that kind of stuff. It was just, how much is it? Right, fine, I'll give you that. No gazumping, no gazundering, all that kind of stuff. Alright, we're dipping into the paranormal now. I think that might be time for me to bow out. Right, if you want to join in the paranormal chat, everyone jump onto the Discord server and we can continue that there. But I think I'm going to have to call it a day because I can't even see most of the chat. Everything else is freezing up on me here. I mean, everything's green, so it should be fine. I'm not getting any drop frames or anything. It's just not actually happening. Maybe it is a ghost. It's an IT literate ghost that's here going, ha 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 ha, don't believe in ghosts, I'll show you. They're interrupting my Wi-Fi signal. Ugh. Right, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to call it a night because it's just not playing ball. I did think this was a bit dodgy. My internet has been, like I say, it only got switched on today, so it's been doing a bit of training and line training, so it's been going up and down a little bit. I don't think that's been the problem here, but I am having issues, let's put it that way. Let me iron most of these out. Most of these. See, no promises. I'll iron most of these out for next week. And we can do this properly. I might even have some decoration behind me rather than just being surrounded by, like, the Christmas trees, for instance, and all these other things. But thank you for tolerating it so far. I haven't even got any. The lights are all in the wrong place as well. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for putting up with this. Thank you for those of you who had sent the super chats and joined and even just subscribed or watched some videos. It's all been very helpful and very, very humbling to have everyone's nice thoughts and comments about my house move. It's been a heck of a stressful time. Let's leave it at that, shall we? But thank you for joining me, and in 5 to 10 minutes my mouse will move to the actual end stream button, and it might even press it, you never know. But until next week, or until the next video, arrivederci, thank you for joining me, cheery bye.